Here we have our Seeker, Vincent Lee. He has 3 will, 4 book, 3 fist, and 1 foot. He has the trait of a medic. After one of your card effects heals damage from an investigator or investigator ally asset, add one of your set aside on the men skills to the investigator healed. Neat. Elder Sign effect +1. You may heal 1 damage from an investigator or ally asset at your location. So, he's kind of like Carolyn Fern, but I'm glad they didn't copy her ability exactly, because that'd be kind of boring. Weakness is Wounded Bystander. Revelation, put Wounded Bystander in play in your play area with 3 damage on it. Cannot leave play while it's damaged unless it is defeated. If it has no damage, discard it. Forced, when you take one non-direct damage, at least one of it, when you take non-direct damage, at least one of it has to be found on Wounded Bystander. Forced, if Wounded Bystander is defeated, you suffer 1 mental trauma. Well, that's pretty fitting. Then we have On the Mend. 2 wild. Limit 1 On the Mend in your hand. Commit only to tests you're performing. Forced, when On the Mend would be discarded from anywhere set aside out of play. And then Bonesaw. 1 book, 1 fist, 1 wild. Vincent Lee only. It's an item, tool, and it's melee. Action, fight, get +2 for this attack. If this attack is successful, you may take 1 damage, deal +1 damage. Weird meat cleaver, basically. Except it damages you. And then action, heal 5 damage to investigate your location. Test book 4. If you fail, investigator suffers 1 physical trauma. Max once per game. Interesting. So, this has some really interesting potentials, and super heal. 5 heal is really, really good. Alright, let's check out his back. Deck size 30. Deck building options. Secret card. Level 0 to 3. That's kind of lame, but at least it hopefully balances him out. He seems pretty good. Neutral card 0 to 5. Cards that heal damage. Of course, Carolyn's ability. 0 to 5. Up to 15 other Guardian or Survivor cards. Level 0 to 1. That's pretty flexible. Requirements. Bonesaw. 1 copy per player of On the Mend. 1 Wounded Bystander and a base focus. Additional setup beginning each game with 1 set aside out of play. Okay. So, he seems like he'll be fun. I do like that heal 5. I mean, honestly, that once per game, that's pretty strong, actually. Healing 5. Him and Carolyn might be a really cool team up. Now for our secret cards, we have Alchemical Distillation, cost 2, it's an asset, 2 brain. Item in Science, customizable 3 supplies. Action, spend 1 supply, choose an investigator location, and test book 1. If you succeed, that investigator performs one of the following actions. Draw 2 cards or gain 2 resources. That in itself is actually a pretty decent ability. We'll see the upgrades. Add this option, heal 2 damage. Calming Distillate, add this option, heal 2 horror. 1 cost, Enlighten Distillate, at this option, place 1 charge or secret asset you control. And that's very Daryl. Or no, Daryl's not that. What is Daryl again? Evidence. Quickening Distillate, add this option and move 2 times. 2 cost, Refined, Alchemical Distillation, enters play with 2 additional supplies on it. Yeah, that's not too bad. 4. Empowered. When you initiate the skill test, you may increase the difficulty by 2. If you do, increase the value of the effects granted by each option by 1 for this test. That's really cool, too. 5. Experience. Perfected. If you succeed by 2 or more, the chosen vision perform 2 different options instead of 1. Yeah, but you can't really... I mean, it's a really flexible card, and you can actually upgrade it to fit the scenario. Yeah, I gotta say, I really like this card. Seems like you can do a lot of nonsense and jank with it, and seems really powerful, but Perfected is really expensive. I mean, Empowered's a little bit cheaper, and that's pretty good, too. I don't know, I like this card. I think you can do a lot of cool, flexible stuff, and it just adds to the Seeker's nonsense of being too good for their own good. We have Empirical Hypothesis. 2. Cost 2, it's an asset. It's a book. Traits are talent and science. Customizable limit 1 per investigator. Interesting. Takes up no slots. Force the story round. Choose one of the following criteria for the round. If you fail a test by 2 or more, or you succeed a test by 3 or more. When the chosen criteria is met, you may exhaust your hypothesis to add 1 evidence to it. Spend 1 evidence to draw a card. It's just a Daryl card. It says 1 cost, pessimistic outlook. At the following criteria, you run out of a card to your hand. Okay. Trial and error. If on criteria, you may dealt damage or horror. I don't know if I really like this card. It is a weird card. Independent variable. 1 cost. At the following criteria, you discard a treasury or enemy from play. 1 XP. Field research. At the following criteria, you enter a location with 3 or more shroud. That's not too bad. 2 XP. Pure review. The chosen criteria is met. An investigator location meets it instead of only you. Other investigator location may trigger the fast abilities of empirical hypothesis. Pretty good. I don't know if it's 2 XP good, but alright. 2 XP research grant, empirical hypothesis gains fast. Spend 2 evidence to reduce the cost of the next card you play this phase by 3. That's pretty handy. 3 cost, inferior proof, empirical hypothesis gains fast. Spend 3 evidence to discover 1 clear location. That's really good. Alternative hypothesis, cost 4. After you exhaust empirical hypothesis, you may resolve its force effect choosing criteria you have not chosen this round, then ready it. That's a weird thing. After you exhaust imperial hypothesis, you may resolve its forced effect choosing criteria not chosen this round, and ready. I like the ready part. I don't know. Don't know how I feel about this. So we have the Raven's Quill. It is an event. 3 cost, 2 book. It is a unique event. Traits, item, relic, upgrade. Customizable when you purchase a Raven Quill. Name a tome or spell asset and record the name on the upgrade sheet. Attach the name to asset you control. Reaction when it agrees. When you resign the game ends, either mark a checkbox on the Raven's Quill upgrade sheet or reduce the experience cost to upgrade one of the attached asset purchaser. That can be neat. So, of course, we gotta name our tome or spell. And then our upgrades. 1 cost, Living Quill. Using attached assets abilities. Action abilities not for text opportunity. It really depends on what you're attaching it to. Spectral Binding. Attached asset does not take up any slots. Again, what you're attaching it to. 2 cost, Mystic Vein. You get +2 skill value before initial test on attached asset. That's pretty handy. 2 cost, Endless Inkwell. Name 2 or more tome or spell assets. Okay, so does that take over for the regular one? Not sure. And so can you get 3 out of that instead of 2? Yeah, name 2 more. Well, yeah, that's pretty handy. Okay. 2 XP energy sap. Return Raven's Quill gains fast. Exhaust Raven Quill. Move 1 secret or charge from asset control to the attached asset. Yeah, can be handy. 3 XP, enter 1 ink. After you resolve an action ability to attach asset, you may exhaust the Raven's Quill to ready another asset you control. I wonder how much nonsense you can do with Daisy with this. And then 4 Supernatural Record. When you play the Raven's Quill, instead of attaching to the named asset you control, you can search your deck, discard a pile, and hand for a copy named asset, play it, then attach Raven's Quill. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Got a tutor out of it. Yeah, you still have to pay the cost, though. I know. This one has a lot of potential, I think. It's also kind of expensive. So you gotta pay the Raven's Quill and then pay for the asset. But XP-wise, yeah, this is really handy. So, we have Dissection Tools for 2. It's an asset, pitch for a foot. It is an item, tool, science. After an enemy reaction, after enemy location is defeated, place 1 resource From the token pool on this card is evidence. Well, the section of tools has one or more evidence, you get +1 foot. 2 or more evidence gets fist. 3 or more evidence, you get 1 standing. So it's kind of like that camera. It's pretty neat. It takes a hand slot though, so running the camera on that kind of. Well, it's a secret. You really don't need your hand slots. Okay. I mean, that seems pretty cool. But it has to be defeated. Seems kind of hard. Good if you're on a team, though. Alright, we have Grim Memoir. Cost 3, it's an asset. Pitch for a book. It uses 4 secrets. Traits are item tome. Action, spend 1 secret. Investigate +2 book to this location. You see by 2 or more, draw 1 card. I think it's pretty handy. I mean, it's pretty easy for a secret to pull off. Hand slot. I don't know, I think that's actually a really good card. I mean, it's great in Daisy. Jeez. Put you up to 7. More unlikely you're going to succeed. And then we have research notes. 1 cost, asset, pitch for a book. Traits, item, tome, science. After you play a card ability, reaction. After a player card ability places 1 or more of your clues on your location, place that many resources on research notes as evidence. Test book 0. For each point you succeed by, you may spend 1 evidence to discover 1 clue at your location. That's a weird thing. We have the event, Bizarre Diagnostics, pitch for 2 book, insight and science traded, place 1 of your clues at your location, and then heal 3 damage from an investigator or ally asset at your location. It's cool, it helps allies. Giving up a clue, that's not too bad. It's not great either, but that's an interesting thing. Captivating Discovery. It's a 1 cost event. Pitch for a book and a foot. Search top 6 cards of your deck. You may place up to 3 of your clues on your location. For each clue placed on this way, choose to add 2 of the search cards to your hand shuffle your deck. That can be pretty handy. It can be really gross and mandy. And then we have Map the Area, 1 cost event. Pitch for a brain and a foot. Traits are insight and tactic. Investigate, add your will to your foot. If you succeed the value of the investigation, instead of discovering clues at the location, attach map the area to the limit 1 per location. Reduce difficulty of all skill tests at attached location by 1. Interesting. That can be really handy in those like final level scenarios where you have to fight everything or do everything at 1 location. I don't know if I'd include it though. Prior knowledge is always one of those things that helps this game. Yeah, it seems pretty strong, but also seems kind of janky. We only have 1 skill card for the Seekers, but it's not like they really need any more help. Pitch for a wild. Analysis. Practiced. After revealing Chaos Deck from a skill test, you can place 1 of your clues on your location to cancel the Chaos Deck and return to the Chaos Bag and reveal a new one. You may do this any number of times. What? Well, I mean, you're going to lose a lot of clues, but that seems good. Really good, especially since it's practiced. Next up, we have Lab Coat. Costs 1 XP. It's an asset. Pitch for a brain. Item, clothing, science. When you fail a skill test on a card, when you fail a skill test on a Seeker card by 1 or less exhaust Lab Coat, you succeed by 0 instead. So, weird, really weird item. Feels like this campaign's a lot about throwing things out and we'll see. Next up we have Orphic Theory. 2 cost, 1 XP asset, pitch for a book. It is a spell. Uses 4 secrets, fast, spend 1 secret, choose any non-weakness charger not attached to any enemy. Tell them to end a round, treat the card's current text box if they're blank, except for traits. Takes up 1 spell slot. Yeah, I feel like there's going to be a lot of jank in this expansion. So we have an Existential Riddle. 1 cost, 1 XP. It is an event. Pitch for a book and a brain. Parlay. Choose a non-elite enemy at your location and test book or will. Or will or book. 8. This test gets -1 difficulty for each other card in your hand. If you succeed, automatically evade the chosen enemy and attach Existential Riddle Attach enemy gains a loop. It's a interesting ability. I mean, it's really cool since it's -1 for each other card in your hand, and Seekers love cards. Give something aloof, especially. I mean, I guess it's good that Seekers have another way of dealing with enemies. I'd rather kill enemies, but it also stops really jank enemies from going back into the Mythos deck. I mean, it only costs 1 XP, so I feel like it's pretty decent. And then we finally get an upgraded guidance, 0 cost, 1 XP event, pitch for a brain in a wild, trait his insight, choose another investigator location, as yet take their turn. During this investigation round, choose investigators +1 to each of their skills, and you may take additional action. Playing guidance. I mean, it's a little bit better. I don't know if it's helpful. Next up, we have Dr. William T. Melson. He's finally upgraded. 1 cost, 2 XP, pitch for a brain, and a book. Traits are ally and miskatonic. Reaction: when an investigator draws an encounter card from the encounter deck, exhaust Dr. William T. Melson, place 1 of your clues at your location. Yet, investigator draws another card from the top encounter deck, chooses one of those 2 cards to resolve. And cancel and discards the other. And of course, he's always awesome being this cheap for 2 and 2 soak. I mean, that's pretty flexible. Problem is, Seekers have really good allies. Granted, if you do that Miskatonic jank build, he could be fun. He is cheap. And he's a 2 and 2 soak. Charlie Kane? Would he be fun in Charlie Kane? I feel like he'd be fun in Charlie Kane. Alright, next up, Press Pass. 4 cost, 2 XP, asset. It has an accessory slot. Pitch for a brain and a foot. Item and charm arts traits. Reaction: after you spend 1 more clues or place 1 more clues location, exhaust Press Pass, you take additional action this turn. That's pretty handy. Alright, a lot of clue placing abilities all of a sudden. We have Surgical Kit. It is a 2 cost asset. Takes 3 XP, pitch for 2 book. Has 4 supplies, traits are item, tool, science. When one of your card effects heals damage from any investigator, spend 1 supply. Either that effect heals at 1 additional damage, or you draw 1 card and heal 1 horror. Double action, heal 3 damage from investigator allies at your location. That could be interesting. Seems kind of slow. And now we have Fingerprint Kit upgraded. Cost 5. That's rare to increase the cost of an upgraded card. 4 XP, that's a lot. Pitch for 2 book. The item and a tool, use the 3 supplies. Exhaust Fingerprint Kit, spend 1 supply, investigate, get +2 for succeed, discover 2 additional clues. Yeah, getting 3 clues is pretty good. +2 book. Takes a hand slot 3. Yeah, that's pretty good for 4 XP. Cost 5 though, but that is a really, really good card. Expensive but good. God, getting 3 clues at a location. Man, this thing pays for itself pretty quick. Last card we have is Grey's Anatomy. Cost 3, 5 XP. Yeah, it is the Doctor's Bible. Pitch for a brain, a book, and a wild. Item, tome, action. Choose a card or your location. Test book 1. For each point you succeed by, choose 1. Next time that card will be healed this round, heal +1 damage. Horror maximum +3. Next time the card will deal damage this round, deal damage +1, maximum +3. Next time that card will be dealt damage. I'm confused by that. The next time that card will be dealt damage this round, deal +1 damage. That's really weird. Next time a card will be healed this round, deal. I mean, Guard Dog makes sense. It's the only thing that makes sense. It has to be a reaction ability, basically, to have damage dealt to deal damage. Not sure about Grey's Anatomy here.